Another big part of the blockchain space has been DAOs. Basically, from the beginning of Ethereum, DAOs have been talked about and philosophized. Today, we have the Teddy DAO, Donations Designed for Web3. And speaking about this subject, please welcome him to the stage, David Chapman.
Hello, okay. Hi guys, thanks for being here. I'm really excited today to be able to be up here talking about Teddy DAO, which is a project we've had at Lucky Friday in development for just over a year now. And one of the core pillars we have at Lucky Friday is social good, and we wanted to leverage that and combine it with our experience that we've had in NFTs to create an NFT project that was different. So the basis for this is 100% goes towards social good and charity. So yeah, just trying to create donations designed for Web3. And I mean, I think we've all seen the rough time NFTs have been having recently. But we still believe there's huge potential in them. And the amount of use cases that we're going to start to see develop in the coming years is really going to drive this market and innovation. So, I mean, why did we build Teddy DAO? Firstly, we wanted to help facilitate a change within the industry. We'd not seen anyone focus solely on social good. And I mean, why would you when you've got Monkey JPEG selling for 400 grand, doing a project for 100% for charity doesn't often become top of the list. So we have, of course, seen various glimpses of social good within NFTs, whether there's a percentage of royalties that then go on to a charity, or even one-off auctions. With my first NFT project, Kusama Kingdom, we actually auctioned off one of the kings, and I think it went for 15,000 in the end. So that went to a charity, and that kind of started this idea of this outlet of being able to use NFTs to drive donations to social good. There was clearly a market for it. And given our team at Lucky Friday, we have an extensive experience across charity, law, traditional finance, and Web3. So we felt like we had the perfect combination of people to try and make this happen. And for me, like, one of the most important things is being able to attract a new audience. I feel like the traditional donor may not be the type of person who's entered Web3 yet, and they may not want to speculate on an NFT or a coin. So by creating a platform that allows them to have a smooth onboarding process into Web3, I think we've got it down to about 12 clicks to be able to go from downloading the wallet to buying the crypto with your credit card to being able to bid without the need or risk of putting their capital. They're just taking what they would have wanted to donate previously and putting it through our platform, which I'll get onto the concept and how it works in a bit. I mean, in terms of market size, this probably is a bit outdated given the last few months, but like I said before, we still think there is huge potential, and for this market to reach 350 billion by 2030 is still very feasible when we start to think of the sort of innovations that we're going to see in NFTs, not just being used as like a profile picture or a JPEG, but being applied to all sorts of industries, whether that's documentation or like real-world assets and things like this. But we only see a tiny fraction at the moment being used or directed to social good. The last time I checked, it was about 0.05%. And if we're comparing that to, say, charitable giving in the USA, which is about 5% of GDP, then there's a huge room for growth for our industry to be able to make a difference and start generating some more revenues for charities. And I mean, in terms of brands, I mean, we've seen a lot of people now start to enter the space. Some more successful than others. I mean, we've seen Nike, Gucci, the Australian Open, all sorts. But on the whole, these have been largely for-profit marketing initiatives. Now, I don't think that we're going to see a slowdown in brands entering the space, I think, and we're going to see innovation coming from all sorts. It's becoming pretty obvious that most companies now need some sort of Web3 innovation or strategy going forward. So this is also going to help fuel this market and help our industry grow. And this is why we're super proud to be partnered with Just Giving with this. So for those who don't know, Just Giving is one of the largest online donation platforms in the world. So yeah, they've raised over 5 billion for charity and are partnered with 450,000 charities. So for us to be partnered with them, it obviously, one, it gives us great in terms of brand association, but also the access to all these charities through our platform. it was actually super interesting. When we originally came up with this idea, I sent an email to the CEO of Just Giving, like completely out of the blue, just completely cold, just saying if they'd be interested in doing something in the space and partnering, and it just reconfirmed that all these brands are out there looking for someone to just hold their hand and enter them in the space, and are always very receptive. So this has been really great working with them over the course of the year and making sure we're doing it by the book and getting it all right in order for them to put their name to it as well. So now in terms of the concept, this will hopefully make it a bit clearer. So high level, like the base premise is pretty simple. So we have one of these teddies randomly generated every day, auctioned for 24 hours forever, essentially. And the way it works is, so we built Teddy DAO on Moonbeam, which is an EVML1 in the Polkadot ecosystem. So it allows users to either come connect with their MetaMask wallet or Talisman, which is a native Polkadot wallet, which we've partnered with. Come and bid in Moonbeam, which is the glimmer you see here. Once you come and you connect your wallet, you place your bid, you'll be prompted to pick a charity. And so originally, we've only been going 2 weeks now. And we've got 400 charities loaded on there at the moment through Just Giving, with the aim after the next few weeks to expand to the full 450,000. So as a user, you'll be able to come here, pre-select your charity, bid, and then if you win the auction at the end of the 24 hours, you get the NFT, and the charity will receive the donation, which we off-ramp through JP Morgan, and then Just Giving distributes it to the charities based on the winning bid. And then these little teddies, there's 4 traits that come every day, randomly generated, and we have over 4 million combinations. So in theory, this will run for 11,000 years before we see a duplicate, which would be pretty good going if that's the case. And we also have, on the website, we have a toy box where you can go on and you can play around and see the different combinations to see what sort of things that might come out. And for me, like as a crypto native and investor, one question is always going to be, but isn't this then an unlimited supply? And yeah, that is correct, but for us, it's not about creating an asset for speculation here. This is being designed as a mode to get donations to charities, and that is the primary benefit and utility versus creating an asset that is scarce and to be speculated on. But of course, as well, by the time it gets to a 10,000 supply, which is your typical sort of ETH collection we see, it would take us 33 years. So they are still going to be relatively scarce. And here's just an example of some of the charities we have on the side. And like I said, we've got 400 at the moment that people can choose from, with that aiming to expand to the 450,000 plus that Just Giving have over the next few weeks after we get through this initial month sort of light launch. And yeah, so I mean, we ultimately wanted to be a DAO that's making a difference. I mean, the word DAO has become synonymous in crypto, and we've seen great successes, we've seen great failures, we've seen treasury raids, we've seen multi-sig owners going missing, but we still think this structure has great potential and great use cases that people can leverage, and we kind of wanted to take it and put a positive light, and we see so many negative stories, especially in the last 12 to 24 months in crypto. So by doing something like this, especially with Just Giving, and to try and get it to more traditional media outlets, and for people to see what our industry can do with NFTs and the power it can have versus just chasing profit and speculation, which a lot of people from the outside only seem to think is the thing. So yeah, what is our mission? Ultimately, we want to become the most recognizable NFT brand for social good in Web3. With these little teddies being a badge of honor that people or corporations can use. I mean, I'd love to see a day where you'd go onto a company's website or a project's website and you've just got this little bear Easter egg there and everyone's, okay, that's a sign these guys are doing something good. Because we see in crypto this huge focus on ESG, but not much on corporate social responsibility. It just hasn't really become a thing within ours. So we'd love to be working with projects and foundations in the space to help change this. And getting to a point where even you would see projects in their token allocations maybe having a section just dedicated to social good and charity that they then go out and do initiatives with, even independently of us. And I think education is another big point. I mentioned previously, about trying to get the traditional donors into Web3 and educating them. And once they come in through the non-speculative method of just donating and getting a teddy, they're naturally going to get more curious. They're going to learn more. They're going to ask more questions. And we think that's going to be a net positive. And it's also for the charities as well. I think when we saw the horrendous war break out in Ukraine, crypto was an amazing vehicle to be able to get capital to the people that needed it the most. So bringing in charities on Twitter Spaces, allowing them to ask questions to our audience, us asking them, and really educating them on how they can use crypto to further their mission. And then, yeah, audience-wise, we're kind of obviously, and these are some of the examples you can see of these bears. So yeah, we want to kind of have a pretty wide audience. So I mentioned the traditional donors and bringing them in is going to be a huge part, and Just Giving has over 1 million users, so we're really hoping to push that with them and be able to bring in people and help grow our industry. Of course, the Web3 natives, blockchain projects, like I mentioned, try and get them involved with the CSR, and even like normal corporations outside, Web2 corporations, getting them in and getting them a part of this through our network, through Lucky Friday and the companies we work with. And then utility. I mean, the buzzword that everyone chucks around and asks for any NFT project all day, every day, as I've experienced previously. So for us, it's quite an easy one, right? The utility of these things is to donate money to charity. Like that's kind of it. But naturally, we're Teddy DAO as a foundation itself. We're a 501c3. So anytime you bid through our platform and you win, then it is 100% tax deductible. So that could create some interesting dynamics of people leveraging this. Probably not at the moment, given the lack of gains to offset, but in a bull market, not financial advice, but you could see people bidding on teddies to offset some of those gains and tax. And then community, of course. We aim to grow a community through the normal mediums of Discords and the Twitters, and to raise awareness through Twitter Spaces with charities. And in real life events, I think things like this are so important to bring people together, get people talking. You just can't really get the same sort of interaction and discussions or natural flow that you do online. So hosting fundraisers over time is something we'd really like to focus on as well. And another quite cool thing is the perpetual donations through royalties. So if there was a secondary market ever to develop, and like we said, we're not designing these to be speculative, but they will naturally be quite scarce at the beginning, you could see a market develop, and we'll have a 5% royalty on them that would then go to the DAO, and then the holders will vote for over time. And that's kind of where the DAO element comes in, right? It's this, once we have up to 100 teddies, we're going to create a governance platform for people to be able to vote on, one, where the royalties go, but then we could see other things expanding. And we think like governance is something that is obviously like really exciting. It's really important within blockchain. And we think a governance structure should develop over time with the project and as it matures. So it's almost an evolution of governance and giving more power over time. And I could see it getting to a point where, given we're a charity ourselves, people just we build the brand trust, and then we start getting donations to the Teddy DAO Foundation itself, and then the holders would vote on bigger projects to do, whether that's building wells or even a school. So yeah, the sky really is the limit as this develops over time. And then economic-wise, the question we get asked a lot is obviously like, how do you guys make money from this? And the truth is we don't. As mentioned, it's a social good initiative we're doing at Lucky Friday, amongst many other things we do in the space, and we kind of just wanted to do something to give back. So we did luckily receive a grant from Moonbeam at the start to build this out, which we were super grateful for and supportive. And yeah, we aim to keep the auction proceeds 100% for charity. And as I mentioned, we're also a registered 501c3, which means that the donations are tax deductible. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We'd appreciate it if anyone could follow us. And if you scan this here, this will take you to the current auction, which is live right now. And that will be running till 9 p.m. EST this evening. So if anyone wants to bid, I've got a lot of hats that I can give out. And yeah, thanks, really appreciate it. Please find me any questions, and if you want to collaborate on anything with this, would love to. So thank you very much.